Hello, my name is Ann Brock. I'm from RightStar. Today, we want to walk through how you can use a question in Digital Workplace to drive workflow through the process. So I'm logged in as Beth. I'm going to go ahead and find a service request item and request it. You'll see I have only 2 questions here, very exciting ones. But these questions are set up so if I pick Z on question 2, it's going to go ahead and create 2 work orders. So I'm going to go ahead and submit the request. Don't worry about the page 2 of the questions. Those are just left over from the demo setup. So now you can see I created 2 questions because I said Z on that second question. Now I'm going to go ahead, come back to that catalog item, request it, and I'm going to select Y. And what you'll notice this time, oops, I forgot to pick question 1. What you'll recognize this time is that it only creates 1 work order. You can see here, I only have 1 work order. Here, I created 2 work orders. So this is really useful for those cases where you have questions you want to ask your customers, and based on what they answer, you want to drive certain work orders. Work orders can have templates attached to them, and those templates can have tasks under them. So this allows you to maybe create an work order with 1 task versus a work order with 5 tasks, depending on what they select. The magic in this happens in the Digital Workplace catalog as we go into workflows. So I have a workflow set up, and if I edit it, I can see that I have a create work order with identifiers and another create order with identifiers. This create work order with identifiers, you can see has a condition of question 2 equals Z. So that second work order only gets created if the question 2 is Z. Otherwise, it's going to take this default path and only create the 1 work order. In order to get question 2 as a variable, I come into here, I'm in my process, I'm on that first tab, and I can see I have add and remove variables. So if I wanted to add a variable to control my workflow, and you can guess I'm going to name it question 3, I come through here, I'm going to say input required. I'm going to say it's a selection because that's what I like if I'm going to be driving values out of it. And I'm going to say add some options to it. Let's see, I had A, B, I had Y, Z. Let me go ahead and do something different here. Let's do, I don't know, 1. And let's add another one. That's a 2. Very exciting options here. And save them. And save them. So now when I come into here and I go in this, you can see over here, it's a exclusive. I come into here and I come into my options. What I can do is now set a condition. I'm going to remove my old condition. And I'm going to say question 3 equals 1. And that's when we're going to get 2 work orders as opposed to 1 we're going to get with question 2. Now, one of the things I'm doing here, as you can see for this particular work order, I am connecting it to a template. So if I scroll down here, eventually I will get to template. Oh, here we go. I have template name here, and I have it set to Ann work order 1. And that's going to set the summary of that work order to Ann work order 1. So by selecting a template name, again, that template could have multiple tasks under it. It could have 1. You could have a whole set of conditions here where if I pick 1, it does a work order with 1 task. If I pick 2, it does a work order with 10 tasks. If I pick 3, it does a work order with 2 tasks, whatever you want to do. But you can start seeing how that is going to work. So I said, in this case, I kept it very simple. I just said if it's question 3 equals 1, create a work order, and that work order is going to be created using that template. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now, I obviously have to add that question to my service in order for them to select 1 or 2. So I'm using this one. I'm going to go over here to workflow, to edit. I'm going to come to questions and edit. Now I can see I have question 3 over here that I need to add to my form. I'm going to, of course, make it a drop down. It automatically brings in those values, and I've got it there. I'm going to move it up. I just had this as a test in here. Try to move it up. See, my mouse will cooperate or not, that's okay. I have this as a test in here. This is a question that I did not create as a variable, and so it cannot drive workflow. But question 3 I did as a variable, so it can drive that workflow. So let me go ahead and save that. Let me go back into my digital workplace and get my very, very exciting service request here. And go to catalog items, request it now. And now we have question 1, question 2, it doesn't really matter what I pick because it's no longer part of the condition. And question 3, I'm going to go ahead and pick 1. And again, these are just some extra questions, don't worry about them. But now it should go ahead and create those 2 work orders. And the second one should be done using a template called and work order 1. Let me go ahead and bring up my Smart IT. Go to my console. And now you can see this top one does have the summary and work order 1 because it was created from that template. I did not do anything major on that template. I just had 1 task here and task 1. But that is how you can use a question in your service request to drive workflow. Key thing is to remember it needs to be a variable in the process, and then you can use it to drive that behavior. Hopefully this was useful. Thank you for your time. It was pretty quick. If you have questions, please contact us, info@brightstar.com, and we'll be happy to walk you through it a little bit slower. Thank you so much.